Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter OT. Huge thanks to OT and the rest of my Patreon supporters. OT reached out asking for the strongest deck I could build for under $400, led by the new Sheoldred. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Sheoldred is a 5-mana, 4/5 legendary Phyrexian Praetor with Menace. When she enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. Additionally, we may pay 5 mana to exile Sheoldred and return her to the battlefield transformed. But we can only do so if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. The flip side of Sheoldred is a saga called The True Scriptures. The first lore counter lets us destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker each opponent controls. The second one forces each opponent to discard 3 cards and then mill 3 cards. Finally, the third lore counter lets us put all creatures from all graveyards onto the battlefield under our control. We then exile the True Scriptures and return it to the battlefield face up. So, Sheoldred can steal all the creatures from our opponent's graveyards, which is awesome. But to transform her, we need at least one opponent to have at least 8 cards in their graveyard. Sounds like a job for Mono Black Mill. Maybe some discard effects as well? And we can't rely solely on Sheoldred for theft, so maybe some other reanimation cards should go into the list. And if there's any room, a few proliferate effects to help the saga advance faster. But before we get to our deck list, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, 1 sudden I win card. Gyre Reach Sanitarium, Karn's Bastion, Bajuka Bog, Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, Cabal Coffers, War Room, Reliquary Tower, and 30 swamps make up our land base. Dark Ritual, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Mind Stone, Wayfarer's Bauble, Cryptghast, Solemn Simulacrum, Sword of the Animist, Gilded Lotus, Songs of the Damned, Scepter of Eternal Glory, and Gauntlet of Power make up our mana ramp package. Court of Ambition, Siphon Mind, Vraska Betrayal's Sting, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Phyrexian Arena, Sign in Blood, Read the Bones, and Night's Whisper help us dig through our deck and find the cards we need. Defile, Sheoldred's Edict, Phyrexian Obliterator, Drown in Ichor, Soul Shatter, Overwhelming Remorse, Black Sun's Twilight, and Feed the Swarm make up our interaction package. Toxic Deluge, and Damnation. Nothing fancy, just effective. The Eldest Reborn, Plague Crafter, Dark Deal, Torment of Hailfire, Liliana, Waker of the Dead, Smallpox, and Arterial Flow will help to put our opponent's hands into their graveyards for us. Incarnation Technique, Sheoldred Whispering One, Turgrid, God of Fright, Lorcan, Warlock Collector, Reanimate, Victimize, Animate Dead, Agadim's Awakening, Path of the Schemer, The War in Heaven, and stitched together help us bring more creatures from graveyards under our control. Mind Crank, Mesmeric Orb, Perpetual Timepiece, Dread Summons, Sir Conrad the Grim, Geth, Lord of the Vault, Breach the Multiverse, Mindrack Harpy, Unseal the Necropolis, Shared Trauma, Yawgmoth Thrawn Physician, and Staff of Completion. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources, split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. Right on target. 9 pieces of card advantage. A little low, but this isn't counting our mill and reanimation effects, so it's fine. 8 pieces of spot removal, plus 7 more discard effects. 2 board wipes. 1 piece of graveyard hate. 1 sudden I win card in Turgrid, God of Fright. No, seriously, this card is insane in this deck. I fully expect her to be killed on sight, just like Sheoldred. Fortunately, even if Sheoldred is taken out of action and is basically uncastable, we have multiple backup ways to win. Mass discard combined with mass reanimation means we get to play your decks, not just ours. I love decks like this because their power level is determined by their opponents. Now, that's not to say that this deck can hold its own at the CEDH table, but that's a different story. Do you have a Theft or Mill deck? Who's your commander? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to Editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Phoenix of Ice, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, OT, Richard, Pop Zombie, Mark, Danny, Sandwich, and Alex. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.